Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make birria tacos quick in an Instapot. So today what I have is a beef shank roast. Excuse the dishwasher because it's on right now, but I have a beef round roast. This is about 2 pounds, and then I have 2 beef shanks. So I have 2 beef shanks. This is with the bone in. This is what's gonna give the broth its flavor. I have a couple of different seasonings that I'm gonna use. I have some whole cloves, some Mexican oregano, some sesame seeds, Mexican bay leaves. I have puya chilies. I have guajillo chilies, California chilies, and then I have chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. This is optional, but I learned that it does taste good. I also have cinnamon stick. If you do not have cinnamon sticks, you can use ground cinnamon. Either will work. I have garlic powder, total seasoning, salt, thyme, beef bouillon cubes. I have 1 red onion, 1 yellow onion, garlic, a whole head of garlic, a lime, and about 4 of these Roma tomatoes. So if you want to see how I make this, stay tuned. So first I'm gonna go ahead and season the roast and the beef shanks. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna do with this after. This part is actually optional of seasoning the roast, but it does make the meat taste a lot better. I'm just gonna season it with the total seasoning, garlic powder, some thyme, and salt. I'm not gonna use the cinnamon yet. Just rub that in on each side. Normally I use adobo too, but I don't have any. I just ran out. I only have the lemon pepper kind, and I don't want to use that. But if you have the kind with the red top, go ahead and season with that as well. And we're gonna season both sides because we eat both sides.
Sack of fucking Yankee stanky doodle shite. Fuck off, will you please, yeah?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Same way on each side. You don't need too much seasoning because you're gonna be seasoning the broth as well. Just enough to give it some flavor. Okay, so now what I'm about to do is start to go ahead and fry the roast. I just sprayed my pan down with oil. I'm not sure what this pan called. It's like a double-eyed non-stick pan. Really good for like breakfast, tacos, all kind of stuff. But I like using it to sear stuff as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sear these roasts. I'm not gonna cook them all the way through. I'm just gonna brown the top and the bottom, and then I will throw them in my Instapot and show you guys what it looks like once both sides has been seared. Okay, so this is the roast when I seared one side. I'm just searing the other side for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in the Instapot. Okay, so I just cut this roast in 2, just so it could fit in my Instapot a little bit better. It's not a really big roast, so I don't have a lot of trouble in it. I've actually fit about 3 roasts in this one Instapot, so it's pretty big. Not super big, but it's definitely big enough. And yeah, I'm just throwing those in there, and I'm gonna show you guys what to do next. Okay, so now what I'm just gonna do is peel the yellow onion that I have. Oh, this knife is not it today, honey. So I'm just taking the, what do you call this? The skin off of the onion, you know, because onions have layers, like ogres. Ogres have layers. Ogres have layers.
For your information, there's a lot more to ogres than people think. Example? Example? Okay, ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers? You get it. We both have layers.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm gonna keep the onion whole, but what I'm gonna do is just slice down the middle both ways. Not all the way through, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna throw the whole onion in here. Okay, I'm also gonna go ahead and cut the top. Why is this knife not it today? I'm gonna cut the top off of the garlic and try to take the outer layer off. You don't have to like really do this, but you can. It'll actually come off once you throw it in there and it starts to cook with the meat. So that's good enough for me. This, keeping the bottom layer, well, bottom part on, is gonna hold the garlic together. So I'm gonna throw the whole garlic in here. I have 2 cups of just plain water. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. I'm actually gonna add enough water to go ahead and cover the meat and the onions and garlic. So that's what I'm doing now. Just go ahead and fill that up. So that's gonna be enough, because with a pressure cooker, it tends to make its own juices. Right here I have 2 of the beef bouillon cubes. I do actually like to use the beef bouillon powder. Either is fine. It's by the same company, which is Knorr, I believe how you pronounce. So I'm gonna put about 2 of these in here. I'm also gonna go ahead and add about, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I like a lot of bay leaves. I feel like it makes the food taste good. So I'm gonna add about 4 bay leaves in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on, let it cook for a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you guys what to do next. Okay, so I am just closing the pressure cooker and making sure I turn the little knob on the pressure cooker backwards so it keeps the pressure in. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click the meat button. It's gonna beep. You're gonna see the 35 there. 35 is probably gonna be a long enough time just to cook the meat down. And then it'll say on. It's gonna heat up, create its steam and everything, and then come to a boil. And then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like next. So right here I have about how much is this right here? About 7 of the Puya chilies, about 2 big handfuls of the Guajillo chilies, and then 3 of the California chilies. I am going to take the heads off of all of these and de-seed them. The reason why is because you don't want the seeds in the soup for the birria tacos, and I think the seeds actually make it taste a little bitter. So the easiest way to do it, like I said, is just pull off the top part.
So it's pretty easy, just ripping it off, opening them up. It doesn't matter if you rip them up or whatever, because you're gonna end
went ahead and de-seeded all of the chilies and I put them in here. All right, so I have a pot of water on that I'm gonna bring to a boil. I'm just gonna add all the chilies in the water. Let them come to a boil for about 10 minutes. Also in the water, I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomatoes. And like I said, I have 4 Roma tomatoes. I'm gonna let those boil too because we're gonna be blending all of this to throw in our meat. I already went ahead and boiled the chilies and the tomatoes. I took the tomatoes out about 5 minutes before the chilies got done because they had already busted open. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take some of these chilies out, put them in the blender. This is what's gonna make our sauce.
And you don't have to use all of them, but I'm going to. No man left behind. And be careful, y'all, because this stuff is spicy. Like, you could smell the spice, like, in the house. It's crazy. Oops. Come on. You don't want to go. Okay, so that's all the chilies.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomatoes. The tomatoes are gonna create its own juice. I am gonna go ahead and add about, I wanna say 2 bay leaves in here. I'm gonna add about 4 cloves. Cloves has a really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Strong taste. Yeah. So you don't need too many. I'm gonna add the oregano. I like oregano a lot. So I'm gonna add about 3 pinches of oregano. I'm gonna go ahead and put the thyme in there. Okay, and this is the moment where you can go ahead and add that cinnamon stick. Instead of doing the cinnamon stick, I'm just gonna add ground cinnamon because my blender ain't all that. I'm also, I didn't forget about these, but this is the moment that you're gonna go ahead and add in the chipotle peppers as well. And I'm only gonna add about maybe 3 or 4 of these in. 4. I just put 4 of them in there. I also made some chicken broth. All this is the Better Than Bouillon broth base and hot water. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in here. And if you have the beef kind, go ahead and use that. Chicken or beef is fine, it really don't matter. But I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna add a beef cube in here too. Okay, I know y'all probably like, okay, why is she doing chicken and beef? Because I want to, that's why. So, and y'all, this blender real ghetto. Don't say nothing because it's my boyfriend blender and he feel passionately about this. But we ain't got the top piece, so I'm just gonna put my hand over it and cover it.
That's my blender guy right there.
Thanks. It does its job, you know. What I'm doing really quick is just toasting some sesame seeds. You don't want them to sit on there too long or they're gonna get burnt. So make sure you go ahead and move them around a lot. And they toast pretty fast. You see they're getting like golden brown already. This only takes about not even 2 minutes, honestly, to toast them. I have it on high heat. If you're not good with that, be careful, put it on a medium. because they will start popping like little popcorn kernels. All right, so I'm just going ahead and adding the toasted sesame seeds in here as well. Ooh. Okay, so it's been what, 20 minutes in the Instapot with the pot roast. It's on 10 minutes now, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and press cancel. I'm gonna stop it so I can go ahead and add my my mixture in with the pot roast so it can cook together. Okay, on this part you want to be really careful, but this is when we're gonna release the pressure before taking the lid off. You do not want to take this lid off or you're gonna blow up. And I don't want y'all saying I was the reason. So use a spoon or something to turn the nozzle, because you don't want to use your hands. The steam is really high. Once the steam has all blown out, then you can go ahead and take your lid off. All right, so it only took about 3 minutes for that steam to stop. Here is what it looks like so far. It looks good. Look, the onion has fell apart, y'all. Like, really fell apart. This is the beef. I want to see how tender it is right now. It's not all the way cooked. Not all the way tender yet. It is a little bit tender, but it could definitely go for longer. Like, you can see the meat here is like breaking up a little bit, but I want it to break up a whole lot. So I wanted to stop it just so I can go ahead and add my sauce mixture to the pot so it could all cook together and that beef could marinate in there with the sauce. So I have a little strainer here that I'm gonna put on top, and this is so none of the seeds and all the extra stuff will be in there with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and strain it. This part is optional. You don't have to do it, but it is a lot better, I'm not gonna lie. I went ahead and strained all of the mixture that I made into here. So this is what it'll look like, like a paste, once you go ahead and strain it. And I also took out the onion and the garlic from here. Now this is the moment where you're gonna be tasting to see if it's to your liking. So I'm just gonna add some more seasonings in here. This is the garlic powder. I'm gonna add some more total seasoning. I'm gonna add some more salt. And you know, this is really to your liking, nobody else's. This is just for me and mine. So he don't got no problem with the way I make the tacos. So y'all mind y'all business. I'm just adding some accent as well in here. And then I'm gonna add another one, beef bouillon cube. I like my stuff to have flavor. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cover this again, put it on to pressure cook for about 20 minutes on a high pressure level. All right, so off camera, I also went ahead and cut up some cilantro, some red onion, and some limes. This is gonna be for the birria tacos. My tacos are now done. I went ahead and let the pressure out. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. All right, so after about 45 minutes altogether, this is what the meat looks like. This is what the birria looks like. I'm gonna take a little bit of this liquid off, skim the oil on the top, and I'm gonna use that to dip my tortillas in while I go ahead and make the tacos. I'm also gonna take the beef out and shred it up and throw some back in the juice. Okay, so I just pulled the meat out of the consomme, and I am gonna shred it. This meat is like really tender, y'all, like really tender. You see, it literally just shreds on its own. Be really careful when taking it out because I was pulling these beef shanks out and the bone was literally just falling off of it, you see. But I'm gonna chop up this meat. I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's chopped. And then we'll get started on making the tacos. Okay, so normally when I make the birria tacos, I use Oaxaca cheese, but we're out. I have a little bit of mozzarella, so that's what I'm gonna use. So here I have my corn tortilla. This is the oil that I skimmed off of the top. I'm just gonna dip them in that. And with this pan, I can fit about 6 tacos at one time. So it saves a lot of time. But what you want to do is go ahead and fry the tortillas on both sides until they're a little bit crispy. I'll add the meat and the cheese in, my cilantro and onion, and let them cook for a minute or two, and then I'll take them off. This is what it looks like. And when they start to bubble, then you know that they're ready to flip. And you don't want to add too much of the oil because you don't want them to be like wet to the point that they fall apart. If you did make them a little bit too wet, just fry them for a little bit longer and they should be just fine. But that's what you want it to look like. And then this is the part where I add my cheese first because I want it to melt. I'm only going to add cheese on some of these because we don't have a lot of cheese. And I'm not going to add too much. Alright, so the rest I'm just going to make normal birria. So, here I am going to go ahead and add my meat on. You don't want to put too much meat because then you're not going to be able to close the taco. If you add too little meat, then people are going to think you're skimping. So, a lot of meat and it's only 2 of us. So if you have a big family, this is a nice meal to make that doesn't take too long. Normally when you make it, it does take a long time, just like any roast, but this Instapot is what does it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add my onion and cilantro on the tacos while they're frying. And then I'm gonna close the taco. These are literally like the best tacos ever, y'all. And it's best to add the onion and cilantro while it's cooking because once the cheese melts and you know, you close the taco, it's actually gonna be hard to open it. So yeah, you can go ahead and do it. This is when you just go ahead and flip them or close them like so. Be careful because it is hot. But you don't want to overstuff them because you won't be able to close the taco like this. And all the stuff is going to fall out. But you do want the taco to be crispy, like a hard shell taco. That's what we're going for. So after about a minute on each side, you can go ahead and take them off. I'm going to go ahead and cook the rest of the tacos. And then I'll show you what it looks like Once I plated all the tacos, added the soup on the side, and I'm gonna record my elotes video.